And welcome back to the Crypto Hulk Show. Yes, we got a great one lined up. Oh my God, everybody's panicking. What's going to happen to Caleb and Brown? Oh my God, Crypto Hulk. I had some people messaging me. Should I be concerned? Yes. So let's look here. Lester Mino. The first one was Gunner. First 5 people to the show: Gunner, Lester, Crypto Greek, Crypto Nando, Delgadoff has been there, Crystal Gazing, Gordon Logan, Boy Jove. Today we're starting off with a $5 and up club. And after this show, it goes to the general public. So if you're in the $5 group, if you have a question or something like that, you can answer it during the program. I've made this a $5 show specifically for those people that want to be in a show where there's not going to be a whole lot of people in this one. So you can, if you have a question, you can fire away. I would like to give a shout out to all the moderators. You guys are amazing and killing it every episode. Okay. Sammy Ben says, newsflash, if you missed it, just in, Quant has been selected to provide infrastructure for the United Kingdom tokenized sterling deposits project. Yes. Just so you guys know, that whole, look, these different cryptos, we don't ever really talk about Quant, and I don't know why. I've never really seen it much pop up. I guess it's kind of like a little undercover project or something. I just never see Quant news coming up. Not that I'm not looking for it, or I never see it mixed in with anything. I do deep dives. I do. Once in a while, I'll do a deep dive. And I just never see Quant popping up. So I don't know if it... Now, here's another thing it could be. Maybe they already hooked up Quant and they're just waiting for everybody else to catch up. That's a possibility. Maybe Quant has a particular job. All these cryptos have particular jobs, by the way. Cryptos don't do everything. This is for brand new people. Cryptos are good at specific things. At least the good ones are. And then sometimes people make scammy cryptos and stuff. What we're looking at is it's possible that Quant was implemented. Look, they already made most all the stuff. They're just waiting for people to adopt it and accept it. I mean, the Interledger Protocol, that was what, 2014? That's like 11 years ago, 12 years ago when they actually invented it, and then implemented it into the internet. Might have been 12 years, 11, 12, somewhere in there. So it's all ready to go. Like, what we're waiting for is just countries and businesses to adopt this tech. Ripple invented like 90% of all this stuff already. I've shown you all the evidence. We got here Danny Boy, member for 32 months at the 2024 crypto explosion level. Says he hired the lawyer, the Crypto Hulk lawyer, at the bottom of the screen. Click in the bottom left corner. You'll find the Crypto Hulk law firm. It's my law firm, by the way. A lot of you will be like, oh, so here's what some people are doing. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you don't have this law firm, I got bad news for you, all right? Do you think your government cares about you? If you say yes, you're a communist. If you say no, you're a fucking genius. Welcome to you're outside of the matrix. Neo. We're sitting here joking and laughing, but it's not going to be funny when some of the people on my channel, they're like, well, I'd rather take a few $1,000 or whatever and just put it into crypto and take my chances. When you get crypto, you're a competition to the existing banks. When you get crypto, You're in competition to the existing financial institutions in the world. Do you think they want competition? No. No. They're going to get you out of crypto. I'm just letting you know. That's where the law firm comes in. Okay. It's not how much crypto you buy. It's how much crypto you're able to keep. Oh, shit, Crypto Hulk. I think I'm getting it now. Rather than overbuying your crypto, I told you, don't overbuy your crypto. What good does it do to overbuy your crypto and then have the government take it all away from you at the end? Because that's what's going to happen. I've learned a lot over these 5.5 years of making videos. Number one, it's why we got Caleb and Brown. That's why I talk about them every single video I make. It's part of my plan. The Crypto Hulk, what about not your keys, not your crypto? Well, after 5.5 years of learning, after you didn't used to say that before, Crypto Hulk. Okay, let me say this again for the people that are fucked up and developmentally disabled. After 5.5 years of learning, that's what I do. I learn. I know you don't learn. That's obvious. You still say the dumb shit. After 5.5 years of learning, I'm like, you know what? This hardware wallet shit, this ain't it. Because these quantum computers are going to cut through this like a hot knife through butter. So that whole not your keys, not your crypto, those people are going to get booty raped, and I'm going to be laughing at them. I've got Caleb and Brown, which utilizes Fireblocks. Guess what? BNY Mellon, America's oldest bank from like, what, 1870s or something like that, or 1780s. They use that. 2,000 of the world's biggest banks and financial institutions use Fireblocks. They're not using that fucking Ledger wallet shit. I've got one. I'm not holding my breath. I'm sure my wallet's going to get its cheeks clapped. I already know. That's why I have Caleb and Brown. That's part of my plan. After 5.5 years of learning, I learned that I'm not trusting hardware wallets as much as I now trust Fireblocks. That's after 5 years of learning. So you can do whatever you want. I don't fucking care. My channel's designed for those people that want to see what Crypto Hulk is up to. After 5.5 years, I've learned a lot in this channel. Some of you guys haven't learned a fucking thing at all. And some of you keep doing the same stupid ass shit over and over again, expecting a different result. Okay. Let us go into Australia. Here's the article right here. Let me do a copy and a paste. Oh, God, Crypto Hulk, are we going to get into a train wreck here? No. No. The title of the article, Australia looks to bring, I'm going to tell you something. Well, no, I'm not. I was going to talk about something. Well, okay. Let's say if you believe in a certain, let's say you believe at the tree god. Let's say you believe in the tree god or the god of air, water, and fire, whatever the hell god you believe in. And if you want to pray to that god, why don't you just go somewhere where you don't bug anybody and spend time with your god? Wouldn't that make sense? I mean, if I'm going to go pray to my god of the trees, I'm not going to go in the middle of the street and hold up traffic and start doing dumb shit like that. Like, I'm going to go to a forest where all the trees are and start hugging trees. And some people try to have sex with trees. I'm just saying, if you want to do shit like that, that's your life. You probably came from a monkey or whatever it is. You evolved from a chimp. But like whatever God you have, why don't you worship that God in a place that's appropriate where you won't have distractions, you won't have car horns beeping, you won't hold people up that are late for work. I'm just saying, if I had a tree god, I'd plant a tree in the backyard and talk to the tree and hump the tree or whatever. And just why the fuck would I lay down my prayer mat somewhere and do some dumbass shit like these tree huggers and stuff? Just go find the tree, and talk to your God. I mean, it's that easy. I just don't understand. What it seems to be to me is using religion to manipulate other people, to draw attention to things. When you're praying to your God, at least in my book, why don't you go someplace where you and your God can have this kumbaya moment and spend time with your God, whoever that might be. That's just how it seems to me. I'm not talking about any particular religion. If you want to wear certain clothes or something, or no clothes at all, like do shit where you're not going to distract the relationship between you and your God. I don't know, just food for thought. So we've got Australia here, and it looks to bring crypto under financial services framework. Now, they're coming up. Australia wants to come up with new draft legislation. Digital asset platforms and tokenized custody platforms will fall under the same bracket. So what we got is Australia wants to bring crypto in with traditional financial services. Their proposal would require crypto firms like Caleb Brown to hold financial services licenses, effectively bringing Caleb and Brown under the wing of the country's securities regulator. Chris Getta, I enter the stream and here, I'm not going to have sex with tree. Is that the name of the crypto? Tree hugger, tree humper coin. We could make a coin that says tree humper, and I could go out the middle of the street, hold up traffic on the freeway or wherever these people are doing their worshiping of their fucking gods. I swear to God, people are so fucking stupid. I roll with a small group of, very small group of friends. The more I look out and see people, you know that movie, like, I see dead people. I look out and I see dumb people. That's my philosophy. I'd have to make a movie. Somebody would have to make a movie, have me star in it and say, and I'll be like, I see dumb people all over the place. At the gas station, at the stoplights, I see dumb people every place. I'm serious, man. I look around. You know, I will believe that in Darwinian, Charles Darwin and all that evolution shit, which I don't believe I came from a monkey. Well, I know I didn't. I look at some other people and I question whether they did or not. But it's kind of like the more you have support systems in society, we all know all these useless people that come to this country, and I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying the useless ones. And there's about 9 out of 10 are useless. You're not even following Charles Darwin. The more you help these dumb, useless, fat, stupid people, you end up with a whole country of just trolls, knuckle dragging, short, fat people that are around with low IQ, that vote communism. Like that's what you end up with, a cesspool of shit. And it's like Charles Darwin taught us that the survival of the fittest is when the weak and the dumb and the sick die out. What are we doing? We're allowing the weak, dumb, and the sick to live, and all the smart people, you're kicking them out of the country. I mean, I don't know. Let me get back to the show. But I see dead people more, and I see dumb people more and more every day. All right. So with this Australia article, it's looking as if, oh gosh, what's going to happen? Well, here's the good part. Caleb and Brown's owner, the CEO, Jason Titman, he talked to the Cointelegraph about this. The owner of Caleb and Brown is right here giving a comment. Let's hear what the owner of Caleb and Brown says. It's called SwiftX. SwiftX CEO Jason Titman told Cointelegraph, okay, he welcomed the announcement. Oh, so he's out there, the owner of the CEO of the whole Australia's biggest of the big. They own Caleb and Brown. Crypto Hulk, wait a second. Oh, okay. I'm not as worried anymore. Crypto Hulk. Okay. You have the owner of Caleb Brown saying he welcomes this news. Well, why does he say that, Crypto Hulk? Why does he say that? Well, if you'd shut the fuck up and let me continue the sentence, maybe you'd know. He was expecting to see a requirement for exchanges to hold a financial services license. He says this, I don't think our industry should be frightened of high standards. He added, it looks like the government is balancing consumer protections and innovation in a sensible and thoughtful way. Okay. First off, everybody, let's go back. Let's get to planet reality. Now, you've all heard me talk about planet Uranus. It's an actual place. It's a mindset. I don't know if it's an actual planet, but it's definitely a mindset. But Crypto Hulk, wait a second. Are you speaking figuratively or literally? Would you quit confusing people and shut up? So what we got... Shah Iskander, I'm waiting for you to go to my X channel and give me your info. I need a phone number. I need some screenshots. You're nowhere to be found. You're always in other place. Get to the X, like I've said. Say, hi, Crypto Hulk. My name is Shah Iskander. That's my YouTube name. Okay? I joined the $500 club. Here's photo screenshots that nobody else can see except me of my payment. Here's my phone number. It's an American phone number, so then you can call me. Have a nice day. I mean, that's all the fuck you got to do, everybody. It's that fucking, if that's difficult, then you're going to have a hard time trading. So we have the Caleb Brown CEO talking. Here's the thing. What they're trying to stop, the Australian government is trying to stop another FTX meltdown where people lost like billions of dollars, or Celsius or Terra Luna, whatever the fuck that shit is. I don't get mixed up in any of this. Australia is trying to stop all this. Australia is trying to bring standards. I want to know personally, if I go to a crypto exchange, like here's the thing. The other day, I went to 3 different either wallets or exchanges, and the prices on this crypto are all different prices. It's like, then you go to Dex Screener, it's another different price. And then you go to like a MetaMask wallet. So it's all different prices. That's the fucking problem right there. We need standards, right? You see right there? So you try to cash out a crypto and because CoinGecko is saying it's 30 cents, but your wallet only wants to pay, it says it's worth 15 cents. That's the fucking problem right there. Or on one time I tried to cash out, and the exchange is like, unable to, da-da-da. I'm like, are you serious? But you'll allow me when the price dumps, then all of a sudden it'll be okay for me to cash out. But when the price is higher, we can't cash you out. You see the problem right there? That's what Australia is trying to fix. Okay, Shah Iskander, I'm going to go to my X right now. You got the wrong X or something, okay? Here's my X. I'm going to hit message section. There's Nuffy, Jim Bazzani, Stu Lavelle, Christian W., Dossman, Massa. There's no Shah Iskander here at all. I can go through 20 different names. There's nothing here. So if you're talking to somebody, you're talking to not me, okay? Just to let you know. You're not talking to me. You're talking to somebody else, or you're leaving your message on somebody else's X and not mine, okay? Mine is at Crypto Hulk 19 with the C capital and the H capital, and it's all one word. That's all I'm going to talk about right now because I'm just telling you very simple instructions. I'm not seeing any message at all. I just looked at it now and showed everybody. I read off all the names. You're nowhere on that list. So somehow figure it out, okay? What Caleb Brown does is they put your crypto in storage and it's like not touched. So at Caleb Brown, and what Australia's trying to do is what Caleb Brown is already doing. Okay. Caleb Brown started, I believe, in 2016. And they've been doing this ever since. You see, Caleb Brown started off by being responsible. All the government in Australia right now, it appears that they're trying to do is to put everybody into doing the same thing. Responsible custody of crypto. That's what the government wants. That's what Caleb Brown's already been doing. That's why SwiftX, and one of the reasons I'm sure why they bought Caleb Brown, because their system is great. They're good stewards of your money. They protect it, and they're not lending it, leasing it, and fractionally reserved lending. They're not doing any of these things. So what we got going on is the government, look, we have to look, also another thing is this. I'm kind of calling bullshit on the Australian news article, okay? I've talked to somebody in the Australian Financial Services Department, crypto, I won't say who it is, and I've seen it myself, but Australia for like the past, I don't know, 5 years has been saying, oh yeah, we're going to regulate shit. And then they don't, and they wait a year or two. Oh yeah, we're going to regulate. They've been saying that shit for 5 or 7 years. So that's part of the thing I'm calling bullshit on the article for. The next one is this, is that Caleb Brown is not, their cryptos are protected. Like, there's no worry. Like, you're the account owner. So the difference with an exchange is you're an account holder. See, that's another thing. That's the reason I have Caleb Brown. I've kind of figured this out already before I even joined him, okay? In fact, you guys joined Caleb Brown before I did. So you were able to test drive it and stuff like that. These other exchanges, what Australia is trying to do is get everything the same. Here's a part of the problem with Australia, though, and why I'm calling bullshit on the article. The article says, oh, yeah, it's going to try to turn crypto firms into security. Like, okay, look, I talked to Caleb Brown yesterday. I talked to a broker. We've discussed that nobody has crypto laws. Okay. So let me tell you something. A government cannot tell you just by saying, yep, they have to create definitions first. Do you understand that? Australia doesn't have it. US doesn't have it. I've been telling you this, only for 5 years. Okay. So in the United States, we have called the United States Code. They cannot enforce anything in the United States unless it's in the US code. That simple. Okay. So Australia is not going to like turn all these cryptos into securities. You can't, that's Gary Gensler kind of thing. Gary Gensler's so fucking whacked out, smoked out on cocaine. That's just my personal opinion. I heard from some drunk guy who claimed to be Gary Gensler's lover. Well, we got, that's hearsay, and that's not admissible in court anyway, so you can go suck a big D. Australia can't classify cryptos as securities because guess what? Cryptos do different. They don't, first off, they don't have the law to do it, number one, so they'd have to create definitions. But as you know, I'm just telling you how it goes down. Some cryptos are currencies, hence the name cryptocurrency, right? There's one. Number two, some cryptos will be securities, commodities. Some cryptos you heard are called utility tokens. See my point? Some cryptos they're gonna call them whatever it is, and we could have 10 different kinds of crypto. Whatever it is. The point of the matter is, not all these cryptos. So the article makes it seem like, oh God, they're all going to be secure. They can't be because they do different things. Australia doesn't even have laws yet. So who's ever publishing, the government's coming out saying, yeah, we're going to look into this. Yeah, well, they've been saying that for like 5 or 7 years already. So, and they don't even have definitions of what these cryptos are. So we just heard from the CEO. He didn't sound too worried. All right. Because all they're going to do is get licensed. If the laws change, then Caitlin Brown will add or become or whatever. That's like things change. That's how it goes. Things change. So look, yeah, no lexicon or no laws. They can't do it. None of these other YouTubers ever talk about the United States Code. That's because none of these other YouTubers worked for the Department of Justice like I did. So not bragging, just stating facts. I mean, that's all we do here is state facts. When a person brags, it's because they realize they lack something that they have to overcome. I don't have to lack anything. I've already done these jobs. So that's why I speak on them, because I've done them. I've worked in the court system. There's one job every Thursday. I had to work in court for 8 hours a week, so at the state Supreme Court level. So I'm a little bit familiar with shit, okay? So I speak on experience and with facts. That's what the show is based on. It's a fact-based program. So I'm not worried. After reading what the CEO of SwiftX was talking about, he welcomes the announcement. I do too. Look, I'm sick of when I go to an exchange and I want to cash out or go to a wallet, these motherfuckers don't pay me what it's worth. Okay, I want laws. I'm just going to tell you right now, some of these cryptos will be taxable and so forth. And you're not going to live in this world. Okay, then you might as well go try using the dark web then. If you want to be anonymous and do all these things, and you're not anonymous there because they'll figure out who you are. These criminals always have ways. Look, you're not, get out of this mindset that you're going to live off the grid and do all these secretive shits and the government's not, dude, you're so fucking stupid. Stop with all that shit, okay? Everything is going to be in the open and transparent. That's how this is. This is a slave system that's coming. Okay, cash will be disappearing. We've already gone over the articles years ago about how the government's shredding cash as we speak, getting rid of, because they already got rid of $100 bills already. They'll probably get rid of 50s pretty soon. I mean, they're just going to make it inconvenient. This is where this is all going. You will be taxed eventually and all these things. You just have to understand that you're not living in this fantasy world with Ken and Barbie and the Care Bears and shit. And some people are like, what the fuck is he talking about? It don't matter. Just everything's fine, all right? And we will find a way to get, that's why I'm coming up with the Caitlin Brown custody. Look, they're using fire blocks, okay? Caitlin Brown has fire blocks. That's why I'm with them too. I want to be where, look, think of it like this. What is your custody solution? A nano ledger? Okay, that's great. I want to be where Citibank, BNY Mellon has their custody. I want to be where 2,000 of the world's biggest banks and institutions, I want to have the same custody as them. Why? Because I'd rather be with 2,000 of the world's biggest banks than 2,000 of the world's biggest dumb fucks trying to avoid tax, okay? That's not the group I'm trying to be in. Now, you can be in that group, okay? That's okay. But the people that want to follow me, we're going to look over to our right and see BNY Mellon. I'm going to look to my left and see Citibank, JP Morgan. I want to see that fire block. That's where I want to be. In that group are all the biggest banks and regulators in the world. Why the fuck do I want to be with some people like, oh, not your keys, not your crypto? Like, who's in your group? A bunch of dumb fucks just like you? I'm not trying to be in that group. I want to be where all the bankers are. Because the bankers own the government, people. What are these people over here that not your keys, not your crypto? They sit around and talk about dumb shit and repeat, not your keys, not your crypto. That's that group right there, okay? And then we got the crypto lawyer on top of that. Look, I'm trying to have, and I can only protect ourselves so much, but one thing I wanted to show you is this right here. We're talking about Australia. Let's do a copy paste. Let's take a look. Look at this article right here. Okay, we're back. YouTube got all butt hurt, and I had to get off the channel. They actually kicked me off, and I had to get back on. Stu says it's 12:30 a.m. Saturday night in the tropics, hence tropical stew, and it's 80 degrees. Well, in Reno, it's about 7:30 a.m. Friday morning, 7:30 a.m. It's probably 60 degrees Fahrenheit where I'm at. And so what we have here, look, Ripple, here's this article here. Ex-Ripple executive to lead Australia's CBDC project. The Reserve Bank of Australia. Here's the deal. You have Dilip Rao. He was a guy who was at Ripple when it kind of first started, and he was there for about 8 years. He had to quit because Australia needed a Ripple, I'll call him executive because the guy's really handy. Australia needed a Ripple founder, executive, hotshot, superstar. So Dilip Rao went to personally get Australia all hooked up. I'm going to tell you what, there's going to be good and there's going to be bad. So I'm letting that Australia article go to rest. You got a Ripple employee right in there hooking it all up. I mean, come on. Shah Iskander. I guess my ex blocks my text to you already. Resubscribe. What if, you know what I think is if I'm not following you, maybe I don't see your text. I'm going to pause the show for a minute because you are let me try to find. What is your name, Shah, on X? Maybe because I can't. Maybe if I found you and if I added you. Shah Iskander. Iskander Shah at ISK_NDER. Is that the one? Shah Iskander, it would help right now if I'm going to stop my show and talk to you for you to answer a simple question. Okay, you need to concentrate. I need to know what your X is. Is it Iskander Shah? And then underneath that, it's at ISK_NDER28. I need to know, like right now would be a good time to communicate. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. I'll stop my show, give the guy the floor, and I don't hear nothing. This is probably why we can't touch bases on X, because I'm trying to do a simple thing right here, and you can't even follow the simple direction I'm doing right now. We're probably going to have problems buying crypto. I have a feeling with that. Okay, well, I'm going to have to go and continue with the show. When a person needs my help, I stop my show and they go to help, and then they don't type anything for like 2-3. Oh, God. We're having problems here. We're having problems. At Silver Shaw. So Stu Lavelle. Silver. Okay, now I followed you back. Thanks, Stu, for answering the question. I don't know why he couldn't answer that question. Wow, I'm telling you guys, this is not a good sign right now. Okay, he gives me a phone number, but it's not an American phone number. I think we've already addressed that. I'm going to move on with the show because this feels like it's going to take me 3 hours to get done, and I don't have time for this. Chris Gatta made it simple. I paid on X, then sent $2 via PayPal, then emailed my username, then sent a Facebook of my final payment. Did you get it? Yes. Yes. Let's see here. Let's go to the next article. Seals Q. Oh, shit. They're in the news again. For those of you that don't know, Seals Q is a partner of Hedera, which is a crypto HBAR, which is a Ripple partner. And they're coming up with a quantum computer protection plan that currently they're going to try to put it in all the devices of the world. Let me show you the proof that Seals Q is partnering with HBAR. They are a stock. Seals Q is a stock on the NASDAQ. It's LAES if you wanted to buy it. So here's the article here. It says Seals Q partnering with Hedera. And just so you see how big this is, we got Ripple, Hedera, and ALGO, all are partners. Bam, look at that right there. Copy and paste. So right here, Ripple and XRP Labs, they join Hedera and ALGO. So you see how all this is so massive right here? We also know that Ripple is a partner of Chainlink. Let's look right here while we're showing it. While we're showing it all off, let's just do it right now. Copy and paste. Ripple partners with Chainlink. We also know that ALGO Hedera is also a Ripple partner. And according to this article, we got Seals Q, I just showed you, as a Hedera partner. And that's who we're talking about right here, Seals Q. Here's the article here. It's called AuthenTrend. There's a company called like Authenticate. AuthenTrend taps Seals Q. Upcoming quantum shield to build a proof of concept of the world's first quantum proof fingerprint enabled security key. Everybody, it's all happening right in front of your eyes. I'm showing you right now. People are going to look back and they wish they would have gotten Seals Q stock for like $5 or something, right? Because I'm telling you what, this thing, I wouldn't doubt it's not going to be up to $500 by 6 months from now. You spend $5 now, I see this shit at 500. Okay. Why? Because they're the only company. They're the only company in the world right now that has quantum resistant hardware and a microchip. That's why. And when the quantum computers get released, whenever that is soon, and start hacking things up, they're not going to hack Seals Q. That's not going to happen because you got Hedera, Chainlink, HBAR, which is the crypto, ALGO's all mixed up in there. That's like the team. You got the dream team right there. Here is an article. I'm not going to get into too much of it. You've got Seals Q, who's always coming out with something new. This is what I'm talking about. I report on Seals Q because it has to do with crypto, because HBAR crypto is the technology that's helping Seals Q. Seals Q provides the hardware. HBAR provides the software, along with, you got Ripple, Chainlink, and Algorand all mixed up in this. You know they are. It's not like Algorand's like, okay, Ripple, I'll be your partner, but I don't want to work with Algorand or any of your other partners like Chainlink or nothing. I'll just us. That doesn't happen. That's fucking stupid. Okay. They're all working together. And this Seals Q, I'll tell you what, I could do an article one every week. They're hooking up with this company. They're doing that. Like, they're always doing something. They're always, right now they're working on having the fingerprint quantum proof hacking. Then the next one they're going to do, you watch, the iris scan. They're going to hook up. They're going to find a company. It's going to be first mover advantage. Some of you guys might want to look this one up, but there's going to be a company that's going to do a palm print in partnership with Seals Q, and have a quantum proof palm print, a quantum proof iris scan, maybe even voice analyzer, a quantum proof analyzer for what? Deep fake stuff. Oh yeah, Crypto Hulk. Fuck, that's a good idea. You know someone's coming out with that. So some of you smart guys that like investing in stocks, Crypto Hulk's giving you a little heads up right now, okay? I don't invest in stocks. I'm not against it. I can only do so much. I've got some people that just watch my show for investment type advice. Not that I'm giving any. My name's Crypto Hulk. Did I already do a disclaimer? I think I did. What happens is, with all this deep fake stuff going on, you're going to have even a voice analyzer. So that's going to come down the road in the future. But you could, let's say if somebody calls you like on the phone, you're talking to them, they sounds like a family member and they're in an emergency, they need money. They're going to have a microchip where maybe you on your phone and you push a button that says verify voice. And then you can push that button, or maybe it's going to do it automatically. If you got somebody's phone number programmed into your phone, it's going to verify that that person is that person. So now the article says nothing about this. This is just what Crypto Hulk is thinking. So if you want to maybe find a stock ahead of time, then you look up Seals Q and see, is anybody working with Seals Q on voice analyzing to avoid deep fakes? That would be a good one. You'd be ahead of everybody else. Now, a lot of times, maybe you have to be an accredited investor to get in on something like that, or a class A stock, or however they do that shit for certain special people that are rich. But that would be something I would look into. If I was investing in stocks, I want to know, and all of the above, palm print, iris scan, voice analyzer, some company, there's got to be some company working with Seals Q on what I just said. If you get in on that, oh my God, better break me off 10%. All right. All right. Let me check the comments here real quick. You know, one of the things, okay, look, crypto's not taking off. I'm just letting you know. Crypto's not taking off until we're quantum protected. You get it? So here's the thing. Crypto's not taking off next week. I'm just letting the new people know, because some of them think, well, you're going to invest your $5 today and you're going to be a millionaire tomorrow. That's possible. That's possible, but extremely unlikely for you. And probably for me. We'd have to get one of those cryptos that have like 5 zeros in front of it, and you could buy $5 worth of something, and then that's probably the case. Yeah. But think, you guys, crypto's not going to take off next week, next month, and then everything's going to get hacked by a quantum. That's just not going to fucking happen. Here's how it goes down. I'm just letting you know so you don't get your hopes up. is that crypto will not take off until we've got these Seals Q microchips in everything. I'm talking about my 2 phones, my 2 computers, my routers over there and stuff, and my other Wi-Fi speaker. Everything in this fucking house that connects to the internet or has radio waves like a Bluetooth is all got to be quantum protected. So, oh damn, Crypto Hulk, I really thought next week was going to be it. Well, that's what I'm telling you now, so you can keep your day job, don't quit. But that's how it's going to work. That's why we got Seals Q. Congratulations to those of you that bought Seals Q as a stock. That's going to be massive. And then that hyperscale data, the GPUS, massive. Super, super smart investments right there. Any news on XYO? Okay, so since you're a member, DAF is a member, I've owned stock in XY, the company called XY. It used to be called XY Findables years ago. You can go on Grok and say, what's the history of XYO crypto company? But I actually somehow illegally, they allowed me to buy 500 shares of XY Findables back in the old days, 2017 or something, and they mailed the ownership certificate to the house. Now, that never happens. I don't know if it's illegal or whatever. Like if you buy stock in General Motors, you don't hold the stock certificate. That's what's fucked up. They do. So that way, if you ever have problems with the cops or the IRS or something, they can just take that from you. That's why crypto, having it on cold wallets and phones and shit, it makes it tougher for the government people to take it. But the XYO, Stu says, I found 50,000 XYO on an old wallet. I think I'm holding about that. Let me look at my MetaMask. I've got XYO and what they call XL1. I think these are Ethereum based. Let me go on my Ethereum mainnet. Okay. I've got over 40,000 and under 60,000 XYO. But then they have a crypto called XL1, and that's tied in with XYO. There's a crypto called XL1, and I have over 70,000 of those, but under 90,000. It's not a lot of money. And so, look, the company's been around a long time, too long. The crypto is still like, what does it cost? Hold on a minute. Let me click on it. It's got 2 zeros and then a 1. The XL1 crypto's got 0.001. That's a brand new one. It works with the XYO. XYO is got 0.009. Okay, look, the shit's been around for like 8 years or something, okay? 8 or 9 years. And it's still at 0.009. So it hasn't even hit like a penny or... So, I own it. I own a lot of the XYO. With XYO, I own more than $300 worth, but it's less than $550 worth. So that's my area that I own of it. The only reason I own it is because it's been around so long. And I've seen them do some really cool shit. What I'm kind of hoping for is like a big company like Microsoft or somebody buys them out. And then they have like a cash out where I have to sell. Then it'll probably be worth maybe 500 a piece or something, or 1,000 a piece. So that's how I think this company actually pays off in the end. But it's like one of these long. I bought that stock like 8 years ago. Wait for that company to do something is still. But anyhow, yeah. Let me see where we are. We got 10 minutes left. Okay, Seals. So that's a Seals Q. Let me click out of that. There's that one. Okay, we've got Europeans and Unicredit. Okay, this is a deal right here. Europe Europe is coming out with a stable coin. Yes, they are. You've got 9 banks, 9 of like the biggest banks in Europe working together on a stable coin. Guess what? Bitcoin ain't there. Arbitrum ain't there. Ethereum's not there. Nobody's fucking there. There's one crypto company. There's only one crypto company mentioned in this partnership, and it's not anything Ethereum based at all. Frankfurt, Germany, a consortium of 9 European banks, including heavyweights like ING and UniCredit, said on Thursday they are forming a new company, to launch a euro-denominated stablecoin. Why are they doing this? It's a move they hope will counter the United States' digital dominance. So they see the United States as a threat. A host of top United States financial firms have been preparing to launch their own dollar-backed crypto tokens after President Donald Trump signed a law overseeing rules for stable coins that could further cement U.S. hegemony. The use of stablecoins designed to maintain a constant value and backed by traditional currencies has exploded in recent years, notably among crypto traders moving funds to and from more volatile tokens. But these stablecoins are also used in mainstream digital payments and cross-border transactions. The European bank's new Amsterdam-based company is expected to launch its stablecoin in the second half of June 2026 is when the Europeans are coming up with their own stablecoins. So we ain't getting rich until then, because ain't shit going to happen before that happens, I'll tell you. While global stablecoin issuance stands at nearly 300 billion euro-denominated stablecoins are at 620 billion, which is pretty good. So in the whole world, there's $300 billion of euro-denominated stablecoins. So I think, that's the European initiative will provide a European alternative to the U.S.-dominated stablecoin market. So Europe wants to create a token. So what they're trying to do is they don't want to have to use the dollar. So let's discuss, who are these banks involved? Well, ING, Ripple partner, UniCredit, working with Ripple and no other crypto company on this. You've got Deca Bank, Ripple partner. Danske Bank, I'd have to see if they're a Ripple partner. Kayaxa Bank and Raiffeisen Bank, those are Ripple partners right there. Later in the article, it starts talking about Societe Generale crypto arm. Societe Generale launched a euro coin. Guess what? They're a Ripple partner. No surprise, huh? I'm just letting you know what cryptos are involved. Now, we look here. Here's UniCredit. UniCredit, a major European banking group, has engaged in partnerships to make this coin. Let's look at who are the partners. Wise, the Wise Payment Group, they're partners here. Google Cloud. Google is a Ripple partner. Let's look at the evidence right here. What does the article say? Google-backed payment company Ripple in talks with NPCI. You basically have an article here showing you that Google is backing Ripple in payments. There you go. Now, Google just happens to be working with UniCredit and all these banks in Europe. Google is in Europe right now with Wise. Oh, look, BlackRock's involved in this. BlackRock launched a 5-year US dollar denominated structured investment certificate. So BlackRock's involved in this. You have something called the Stablecoin Consortium. They're involved in this project with BlackRock and Google. Oh, look right here. Ripple's involved in this. Well, isn't that something? It says here, UniCredit uses Ripple payments. Well, what about Ethereum? It's not here. But no, what about this crypto? It's not there. There's only one crypto in Europe right now for their upcoming stablecoin, and it's Ripple. It's going to help make it. Okay. There's no other crypto company in this. Next, you have a company called FNZ. You have a company called BNP Paribas involved in this. You have a company called Banksware, BANXWARE. You have a company called Meniga, MENIGA. You have a company called Plug and Play involved in this, and another company called We.Trade. These are all the companies, including Ripple, that are making Europe stablecoin. They mentioned no other cryptocurrencies in this, okay? So just thought I'd let you know. Let me click out of those two. We got 3 minutes. Let me check the comments here. I can't even count the beer cans I've drunk. Dumb as rocks. All right. Let's look. One last article. Do a quick article. Okay. Here we go in the United Kingdom. Yeah, look at this right here. You know, there's good and bad with this crypto. It's our United Kingdom. Starmer. There's somebody by the name of Starmer to announce plans for digital ID. Sir Keir Starmer is expected to announce plans for a mandatory United Kingdom-wide digital ID. Oh, everybody. It's coming. The Prime Minister believes it would crack. Oh, God, listen to this. He's getting blown by a midget. The Prime Minister, the Prime Minister of United Kingdom, who's getting blown by a midget every night, a Siamese midget, so it can be a different one each time. The Prime Minister believes it would help crack down on illegal working and modernize the state. So listen to this. So if they have a digital ID, it'll stop illegal immigration. No, it won't. Just like in America. When you allow the illegals to come in, I mean, come on now. Come on. Come on. I'm not even going to explain that one because that would show me being stupid. If I had to explain that to people, it's just like, the practicalities of the scheme will be subject to a consultation, which also look at how to make it work for those without a smartphone or passport. Oh, my God. Well, you don't need a smartphone. You don't need you can put a microchip in a person, like in your forehead or in your hand, right? You can put a microchip in a person, so you don't need a smartphone. How about this? When all these people get their government checks, you could give them a 6 months notice that if you do not have a phone, a passport, a microchip stuck in your hand, your head, maybe even your bunghole, you ain't getting your check. And if you need somebody to come over, we can show up, shoot that right into you, have a nurse there. I mean, we can do all these things. They're trying to make it sound like, oh, for people who can't get a phone. Oh, my God. Wow. How do these people survive? And this is what I'm talking about. Charles Darwin and shit. When you allow dumb people that are useless to keep procreating, you end up with these dumb motherfuckers that can't. I don't know how to get a passport or a phone. Oh, I'm just like, God. You end up with people like that by the millions that are just, they're alive, but they can't function. They're just like zombies and shit, you know? Now, previous to this, the communist labor government you have in the United Kingdom, they attempted to introduce ID cards, but was ultimately blocked by the conservative Liberal Democrat Social Coalition. But Sir Kerr said in an interview that he thought the debate had moved on since then. We all carry a lot more digital ID now than we did 20 years ago. I think that psychologically it plays a different part. The government plans to use new schemes to check people's right to live and work. Oh my God, this is so fucking stupid. I've seen the pictures of England, of Michigan in the United States, where all these fucking useless people, the government purposely shuffles all these useless people to certain cities. So there's like 1,000 gazillion billion of these fucking useless migrants, and they get in and they take over in the mayor jobs and all. That's all the shit that happens. They're trying to show us here. Wow, the Sir Kerr is trying to explain to people that if we have this ID, it'll make it to where we have to check people's IDs so they have a right to live and work in the United Kingdom. No, they don't, because you're going to give them a free pass. This is so fucking stupid. And they're going to have people all ID'd out and this and that, and we're going to stop illegal. And they're not going to stop a fucking thing. The illegal people are still going to get to do what they want to do, and all of us that work have to pay for it. That's how this thing happens. Until all the illegals overpower everybody in the population, then they take over the country and kick us out. That's how this thing works. So Tony Blair, Prime Minister Tony Blair, he tried doing the same thing, and they got him out of there. Oh, I see what they're doing. So what they're trying to do now, since the government allowed all these useless illegal immigrants into the United Kingdom, now the government's like, well, if we have this digital ID, then we could deal with the illegal migration problem. Well, you're the ones that let them in the first place. So the government creates a problem, identifies we have a catastrophe. If you all get microchipped, then that'll help this problem. No, because the government's the person who let these people in the first place. This is so fucking stupid. I swear to God. I see dumb people. That's why I say that. I see dumb people, because I do. Like article after article every day. When I get out and drive my car, I'm going to see dumb motherfuckers all over the place. Now, the conservative leader in the United Kingdom, Kemi Badenoch, she doesn't believe this at all. The conservative, like the Republicans in the United Kingdom, they're like, this is hogwash, absolute hogwash. And I'm calling it too. So, but that's the slave system, you guys. That's what they want to do. They just want to allow all these illegals to come in. And then when everything's all fucked up, well, maybe if everybody got a microchip, and you still haven't dealt with the illegal alien problem. That's so fucking stupid. Now, lastly, when did all this start? 10 years ago, and Ripple's involved. Remember, Ripple's the government. It's not a company. It's a country or the countries. Okay, Ripple's involved. Look right here. This article is from 2024. 21 top Bitcoin and digital currency companies endorse what? A new digital framework for digital ID. Well, wait a second, Crypto Hulk. Let me repeat. 11 years ago, this is on a Ripple page right here. They're showing you. 11 years ago, they had the technology for a new digital framework and digital ID. If you look down here, you'll see a company called ID3, Institute for Data-Driven Design. These companies were working on this shit 11 years ago. That was their whole plan, to give everybody a digital ID. Whether you want it or not, you're going to have one. These people are doing it right here. Who are the companies involved? BitPay, BitReserve, Bitstamp, BTC, Data, Hub Culture, all these companies in here. Blackbox, Ripple Lab, SnapSwap, Swarm. These are all Ripple partners in here. Trefoil, Vorum, Exapo, XAPO. We've gone over all this. MIT, that's where Gary Gensler came in. We all know Gary Gensler's the communist. So he's got his hands in the cookie jar with this as well. I'm not going to go through this article. It's massive. It would take me 10, 15 minutes. What I wanted to show you is the slave system is coming. Now, some countries will resist it as much as they can. I think this all goes back into the end times, where you're going to have some countries are going to fight other ones over all this digital ID, world government kind of dumb shit. I think what ends up is you have people that want a one world government, like the Democrats in the United States. And then you want, like the Republicans, like me, I want other countries to stay the fuck away from what happens in my country. And that's just how I am. That's where this goes. That's where the battle is. I'm not going to say one side's going to win and one's going to lose. I think it's a mutually destructible position where both sides lose. That's where this ends up. Good versus evil, if you want to look at it like that. I mean, I'd rather use terms that are more descriptive. Like, there's the conservative group that where people want more control over their lives. Then you want a communist group like the Democrats who want the government to control people's lives. So those are the two forces that'll be fighting till the end of time. Cryptocurrency comes into this because it's the ultimate way to take power away from people. So I don't have all the answers for you. Obviously, if anything, the more I study, I have more questions. That's how it is with me. My name's Crypto Hulk. We're going to wrap it up with this particular show. And that's for show. I've got a crypto that, oh my God. Remember when we talked about ALGO? I think it was back around November of last year. Around November, October, November-ish. We talked about ALGO. It was like 8 cents, okay? Dexter, Hall's the man. Thank you very much, Dexter, for that. We talked about ALGO. It was like 8 cents. Remember I showed you how, like no other channel knew this. We're back again. YouTube had to shut us off, but I had to get back on. Remember how we went over ALGO like last November? It was like 8 cents. I was the only channel that showed you. ALGO was hooking up with Axelar. Axelar was a Ripple partner. So that's how Ripple was helping BlackRock and ALGO facilitate this BIDL fund. It took about 2 months later, and then Ripple announced it to the world. But if you were watching my show, we already knew about that. I was telling you about ALGO when it was 8 cents. When Ripple comes in and says that they're their partner, bam, that shit shot up to like $1.20 or something, right? I got another crypto tonight that I feel will definitely have an ALGO effect. This crypto's got the connections. Oh my God. Like BlackRock connections, okay? Like literally on their webpage connections. And other ones, not just that. Like, that's good enough right there. That's like the biggest company in the world. But the crypto I have tonight, 5:00 p.m., you can't pump this one. It won't pump dump. Just let you know. This is one where you want to buy it and hold it. Okay. I put a good chunk of change in it and it didn't affect the price whatsoever. So I'm just letting you know in advance. This is one where if you want to put in and then maybe have a 20x down the road, this one is it. The connections you'll see tonight, the connections are fucking amazing. It doesn't have a lot of connections. It's got about 8, but the 8 connections that it has, oh fuck, they're massive. Okay. So that'll be it for this one. You're going to love the 5:00 p.m. Pacific time show. Till then, I'll see you.